guys, welcome back. Chris with you again from JC Trading, and we just took an inverse in one of our Discord live sessions, and I wanted to run through with you exactly why we took it and why we got out when we got out. So if we pop over onto the charts, we'll do a little replay action here. So the very first thing that we wait for with any inverse setup is a liquidity sweep. So as we can watch price action move down here, we're waiting for some area of liquidity to be taken. So as you can see, the price has moved down into this area. We've moved up and we are now going to start to move down. So we're now coming for this liquidity that's been built up along here. So as price action comes down into this area, we know that we've taken liquidity. So that's the first thing that we're waiting for. So as we come down into that area there, just here, we've swept this liquidity. So there'll be stop losses sat underneath here. And obviously people thinking that we're going to be going long. The market's come down and we've swept that. So we've got a tick for the first thing, liquidity. We need liquidity to be taken. We know that trades go from liquidity to liquidity. So what are we going to be targeting? Well, in this instance, personally, I was targeting the previous range high, which is just up here, which also happened to be an equal high as well. So that was my target. Some of the guys got out a bit earlier at this area here. Your next area of liquidity technically is here. So if we just watch price action here, so the inverse actually took place. Why is it not going? Oh, there we go. That's better. Press play. Okay, so the inverse took place there. So that's where you would enter off of this trade. You could have waited for a retest, so price to come back to this fair value gap. I didn't. Hindsight's obviously always 2020, but I've entered on that candle there that inversed. So if you had done a retest, this was a 1 to 6.6. I think if you had done the retest, it would have been about a 1 to 12, but I didn't. But the option was there. So as we can see, we've inverted the fair value gap there. I've entered. We're now going to be targeting this opposing range, this previous range high. So as price starts to come up, we can see here that we've taken liquidity. Now at that area there, that's where some of the guys got out in the group, because that is a very valid target. It's an area of liquidity, and once the market had gone there, we didn't need to go any higher. It could have just come down from that level. Break even, just out of interest, was here at 26.24. That was your break even point on this trade. So entry was here, break even was there. Some of the guys got out here. I was targeting this previous range high, and as you can see, price has faffed around for a little bit, and we start to go down, and then we start to push up again. I think it faffs around a little bit more, and it will eventually there. And that's the trade done. So we waited for liquidity to be taken, which it did. We then targeted, I targeted the previous range high. Now there was one thing that was slightly off about this trade. It made it a little bit of a rule breaker. We've got equal lows below us. We obviously had these equal highs that we've just targeted. Technically, that is not an A+ setup, because we shouldn't be longing when you've got equal lows below you. The idea for me taking the trade myself was that we had just pushed down. We took this liquidity that was residing here. I had a very clear draw on liquidity above here. There was two sets of equal highs plus a previous range high, and I knew that I could go break even quite early, which I obviously did at that level. But was it an A+ setup? No. If the equal lows had been had previously been taken, or they basically weren't there, yes, it would have been an A+ setup. But in this instance, it wasn't an A+, so the guys were told to either de-risk or not take it at all. I took it. We got a 1 to 6.6 and 41 points. This was taken, as I say, in our live Discord server. We're trading live every day, London and New York. Pop over and say hello. Links in the bio. Any questions, we're only happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.